But if you're taking advice, consider the source. And this is the other very important part of what I'm talking about here, is when it's family, there's so much pressure to turn you into their vision of you. I mean, this happens in relationships. This happens all over the place with human relationships. But I remember very specifically knowing this when I was like 7 years old. My parents put me in a Paddington Bear coat. Okay, look up Paddington Bear coat. And they had me taking horse riding lessons. Okay? And I knew that I was a little faggot puppet. A little fucking retarded idiot puppet. For their vicarious pleasure. Okay? And I would do the same thing. If I had a son, he'd be wearing Affliction, like MMA clothes. Okay, my son he'd have a Power Wheels Jeep. Okay, he'd probably complain, it's uncomfortable, I don't like being in the Power Wheels Jeep. And I'd say, nah, dude, it's tough, yo. That's tough, that's a tough Jeep, kid. We'd spray it primer black, he'd hate it. He'd get fucking spray paint in his eyes. What we would do is we'd take the Power Wheels Jeep into the garage and rhino line it in the garage, and he would be coughing from the fumes, and I would be thinking, you know what, my son's a badass. That's my son, U.S. Marine Hyde. First name U.S., middle name Marine, Hyde. Okay? Of course you gotta live vicariously through your kids, okay? My kid's gonna be listening to System of a Down, Disturbed, Puddle of Mud. Those are the big three, okay? That's what he's gonna be listening to at 5 years old. I'm going to be cranking it so hard his ears are going to start bleeding. But that was my parents. Their vision for me was a little horse riding fucking homo in a Paddington Bear coat. Okay, and I knew. This is the thing. I think when you're young, you might have. When you're young, you might be able to know this, right? Like when you're young, your instincts, like you just know that someone is like fucking with you, right? When you're a kid, and then as time goes on, you sort of get Stockholm syndrome, and you see, you know, how racked your parents are by the mistakes they made. And I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about specific. You know, generally speaking, I've seen this a lot. People are very sympathetic to the regrets of their parents, even when their parents are just complete shitheads. And I understand that. Okay, maybe that's the way it should be. Whatever. Okay. But what happens is over time, you let that sympathy, okay, your sympathy for their mistakes, you let it sort of cloud your judgment, I think. And it's hard to say no when you've got an old woman, just she's puffy, okay, she's retaining a lot of water, she looks like me. You can see that she's about to start crying because her entire life, the entire prime mover of her existence is to see you graduate from college, right? So that's hard to say. It's hard to say no to that. It's probably real hard to say no to that. When someone's like, and it's someone who's clothed you and fed you and everything, you know, someone who's sacrificed a great deal for you. I don't mean to discount any of that at all. And they're asking you, just do this one little thing. It's just 4 years. It's not a big deal. But I'm here to tell you that unless your mom is a sharp business lady, don't take a fucking 60-year-old cat lady's advice on anything. Okay? Smile, nod, be polite. Don't get in a fight about it. Okay? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. You know, I might try that. That sounds great. Yeah. Oh, I will go to Brooks Brothers and get a new suit for my job interview. That sounds great. Oh, it's all about a firm handshake and being nice at the interview. Okay, and I'll wear Brooks Brothers. I'm sure I'll get hired for a lot of money. I'm sure I'll make enough money living in New York City that it will offset the cost of living near New York City. Okay, a nice pair of shoes, of course. Okay, smile and nod. You don't have to fight, all right? You don't have to teach an old dog new tricks. These people boomers do not have the neuroplasticity to do a complete 180. I complete the 360. He did a 360 on me. It's a 180. Okay? Wink to anyone who knows what that's from. Word. But these fucking old fucks don't have the neuroplasticity to understand that the way that they think things should be done is straight retardation. Okay? They just don't have it. You can't. It's like trying to teach a dog to use a computer. All right? These people are. Look at the phones with the jumbo buttons. Okay? That's what you're up against. You know, the phones with the jumbo buttons. That's the sort of worldview that you're thinking about, and it goes like this: college, job, and then there's just a blank on that last part. It's like your offspring, college, job. Okay, and maybe that's what you should do. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to college. Okay, I'm saying don't. It's such a serious decision. Don't take a fucking old woman's weepy, teary-eyed, pleading with you, everything riding on you advice, okay? Just don't be susceptible to that. And the reason for that is they don't have to pay. She doesn't have to pay if it's a fucked up mistake, okay? Imagine if it's your mom, okay? Imagine if your mom is just holding your hands and she's shaking, she's trembling. She just watched, TV for 3 hours, okay? And she, what's your name? You watching this right now? What's your name? Josh? Nate? Dan? What's your name watching this right now? Huh? Toby. You're probably Toby. We're gonna go with Toby, okay? Toby, I love you. You're my child. I love you so much. I did everything for you. I fed you. I clothed you. The day you were born was the happiest day of my life. Please, just promise me you'll go to hell. Please promise me you'll just go to hell, please. Okay, please. I just need you to go to hell. All right? Some of you would probably do it too. Okay, my mom wants me to go to hell. I gotta do the right thing and go to hell. Fuck, man. That's a bad look. Don't go to hell. I'm trying to think if there's anyone I would wish they went to hell. Probably not. That's pretty serious. It's pretty hardcore. Yeah, none of you go to hell, okay? Just stay out of hell. Or at least think about whether hell is a decent financial decision. Okay, maybe the career track that you have sort of set up for yourself requires you to go to hell. And if that's the case, hey, this is just my advice. The only thing I'm saying is look at the bringer of advice, okay? Now, if you thought I'm a broke homeless person giving you advice, you might be right. Or you might be wrong.